Hello, and thank you for inviting me to share a few words today. And most importantly, thank you for your incredible partnership in the fight to eradicate polio. A century ago, around the same time Rotary was starting to grow into the global institution it is today, polio was one of the most feared diseases in the world. It bankrupted families, shut down entire cities, and put the President of the United States in a wheelchair. Today, we're close to ending it for good. When Rotary led the way to create the Global Polio Eradication Initiative in 1988, wild polio paralyzed 350,000 children every year. In 2023, that number was down to 12. More than 2.5 billion children have received polio vaccines worldwide, and at least 20 million of them who would have otherwise been paralyzed never had to experience the disease. The world has eradicated polio in hundreds of countries. In fact, 2024 marks the 10-year anniversary of a polio-free India, once considered to be the most challenging country to get polio cases to zero. So the finishing line is within sight, but crossing it won't be easy. Violent conflict, climate disasters, and a global pandemic disrupted health systems around the world. We continue to see cases in Afghanistan and Pakistan, the only two countries where wild polio is still endemic. And unfortunately, we're still seeing variant polio cases in countries in Africa where the virus was previously eliminated. So, the tough fact is, as long as polio exists anywhere, it's a threat to spread back everywhere. This is our best chance to finish the job. And so these next 2 years are absolutely critical. To aid our efforts, we have fantastic new tools at our disposal, like what's called the new OPV2 vaccine that our foundation helped develop. And that produces fewer mutations and variants. That vaccine was actually rolled out in 2021 during the pandemic, and already more than 1 billion doses have been administered around the world, reducing the risk of new outbreaks by over 80% compared to the previous vaccine. But all the scientific progress in the world would be meaningless without people making sure the vaccines actually are reaching all the kids. The world owes a debt of gratitude to the Rotarians, healthcare workers, and volunteers who've knocked on doors, set up clinics, and traveled across countries to make sure children are protected from this awful disease. The Gates Foundation is thrilled to continue our 2-to-1 giving match with Rotary, up to $50 million a year, tripling the impact of every dollar you raise. We're so grateful that Rotary has taken full advantage of that match during this critical period, and we hope to continue that streak in the years ahead. The role of Rotary goes far beyond fundraising, of course. Rotarians have been leading the charge on this issue since the beginning through advocacy, awareness campaigns, and direct service. We should all be incredibly proud of how far we've come. When polio is eradicated, and I do mean when, not if, it will be one of the biggest advances in public health in human history. The world would have never gotten to this point without Rotarians, and we won't be able to get over the finish line without all your efforts. I'm looking forward to celebrating with you the day we cross it together. So thank you once again for all that you do.